AWS Simple Storage Service or S3. Before we get into the storage, how it is stored, and how it is actually retrieved, let's see a real life example. Let's go to one of the website, one of the application, and then see how they actually load these images. What is the need for storing these images or any of the file content which needs to be easily retrievable. Let's find out that, and then let's come back to AWS S3 and how they are actually storing these contents. If you go to any website, you will be able to see a lot of text and a lot of images, sometimes videos and stuff like that. If you want to know from where these images are actually, or the details like images, the text, the medias are fetched and shown in the website or the application, you can do a view page source and then see the details. And here you can see there are a bunch of references to different types of files, right? And the file could be an image, it could be a media, it could be anything of that sort. For example, let's go and see this particular image. If you see this image, it's nothing but the CNN's logo. And for the website to show that, it is actually fetching that information from somewhere. So for a website to show these details, it has to store these files, which is part of image, of a video, of a text, or anything of that sort. You have to store these files in certain location, and whenever the website loads, somebody actually loads that website, those images should be fetched and then shown in the website. Today we are going to show how such kind of files are stored in AWS using the storage method called S3. So now, since we are clear on the need of saving or storing the files, and the file can be anything, in a specific location for the applications or website to load properly, let's come back to AWS and then see the solutions that AWS provide for the storage. Whenever you talk about, you hear about the Amazon Simple Storage Service S3, and S3 is one of the storage service. We'll go to other storage service also later, but let's concentrate on S3. Whenever you hear about Amazon S3, you will be hearing about two main things. One is buckets and another is objects. So what is this buckets and objects? Let's start with objects. The objects are nothing but is your files. Those, if for example, in the CNN example which we have seen earlier, the image of CNN, the logo of the CNN will be the object. Like that, anything, it can be a file or it can be a file and the metadata of the file. Metadata of the file means anything related to the file, like the last modified date, or for example, if it is an HTTP, it can be the content type, something related to the file. So in nutshell, in very simple terms, an object is nothing but the file that these website and application needs to load to show them properly. Now, what is a bucket? So these, as we have seen, there is an image file or there is a file which is needed to be loaded in a website, and that needs to be stored somewhere, that needs to be saved somewhere, so that these applications can go and refer to that location and then load this image. For example, in the CNN example, if you remember, it was cdn.access blah 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 blah, and then there is a png file which is the CNN's logo file. So to reference that, you have to go and store these objects, and you can actually think the bucket as a container which is a storage for these objects. So typically how if you want to kind of imagine, it will be something like this. All these objects will be placed and referenced in the bucket. How it is referenced, we will get into the details more, but at a very high level, how these objects are referenced is something like this. HTTPS, again, the protocol that is used to access these objects, and then you will have the bucket name. So every bucket will be having a name, and when you create a bucket, you will be also specifying which region this bucket belongs to, and then you will have a reference for the object name as well. It's theory as of now. We will go and create a bucket. We will see how you will be naming the bucket. You will be also seeing how the object is actually put into the bucket, and we will also see how this complete URL is actually formed as part of the file upload, or as part of the bucket and object creation. We will see that in the next session. Thank you.